keep.
The Languedoc Roussillon. It's an area that I've wanted to visit for a long time. Thanks to the Vendu Languedoc and Vendu Roussillon, I finally got the chance to attend. On the flight to Toulouse, France, I could hardly contain my excitement, and the week turned out way better than I expected. Here's what I learned about these wines and the region. The CIVL and CIVR put together a memorable and exciting trip. During the week, myself and 80 other media members explored the wines from these two exciting regions. The program consisted of daily lunches and dinners with producers. Here we sampled some incredible French cuisine paired with fabulous wines.
Wow! You can tell someone loved this dessert.
There were also daily tastings which covered a lot of ground. During every day of the week, there were over 300 different wines out to taste. The afternoon consisted of field trips to different vineyards and appellations. One of the highlights was a ride through Limoux in classic cars. Cruising through the small villages and countryside of southern France with the top down was like a dream come true. The sparkling wines of Limoux are also noteworthy. They're well-made, delicious, and affordable. If you want something unique, look out for the Blancs de Limoux, which are made from the grape Mauzac. The Cremant de Limoux are made with Chardonnay, Chenin Blanc, Pinot Noir, and Mauzac. They are more familiar for the international palate. Languedoc Roussillon contains more than a quarter of France's vineyards. In the past, it was known as a bulk wine-producing region, but there are some really exciting things coming out of the area. Sub-appellations that impress me the most in Languedoc are Minervois la Liviniere and Corbieres Boutenac for reds. Minervois la Liviniere are dense and meaty red wines. They're GSM blends. While the Corbieres Boutenac wines were hitting my palate perfectly, they have about 30 to 50% Carignan in them. The Corbieres Rosé wines were also impressive. I wasn't the only one who was impressed. Meg Maker of Terra Review thought so too.
I think a great surprise for me today was the AOC Corbieres Rosé. I found them great freshness, beautiful pink, berry flavors, lovely wines, and I really wasn't familiar with them at all. And
Mike Viseth from The Wine Economist also had something to say about the rosés from Languedoc.
Two other wines that I've enjoyed a lot here, rosé wines and sparkling wines. These are very important here. They're two of the fastest growing segments of the U.S. market. Rosé wines, led by the French, but with everybody, grew by 65% in the U.S. last year. And both of those are good because in a typical wine shop, if you have red wines from France, the Languedoc wines, because of the reputation that is in the past, but because of that, Languedoc wines might be at the bottom shelf or a lower shelf and not receive attention. But in the sparkling segment and in the rosé segment, they'll be right up at the top. And it'll be there because of the good reputation, the great value of these wines, and their drinkability.
The reds from the Languedoc AOC and smaller appellations around Montpellier also showed well. They are juicy wines with ripe tannins and red fruit flavors. Many of the wines I tasted were fantastic values and come in at under €10 a bottle. As for Roussillon, I'd only drank a handful of these wines before coming to the region. In the past, Shireen and I have really enjoyed wines from Gauby and Matassa. This time, I came away really impressed with the Vendu Natural, or fortified wines from Roussillon, especially Maury, Bagnols, and Riversals. The whites from Ollieux also impressed me. They are mainly Grenache Blanc and Grenache Gris and are ripe with mineral flavors. Both grapes are tannic, so it's an interesting experience drinking a fresh white wine that makes your palate dry. The biggest eye-opener for me was Bagnols. On one afternoon, we joined a group of producers high on the terraces of Ollieux. They started opening their white and red Bagnols, and I was astonished. This is coming from a guy who doesn't like fortified wines normally. The white Bagnol smells like a dry white, but then surprises you with the sweetness. The reds can be extremely complex and pair great with the few chocolate dishes that we had. Wine entrepreneur and local expert Fabien Linné explained why Roussillon is such a dynamic wine region.
The landscape talk about itself. Roussillon is, to me, one of the best regions nowadays in France because of the diversity of the grape varieties. And it's pretty good for young winemakers who want to start running their own business and crafting wine. Because you can afford still to buy a few hectares for a quite good price.
I couldn't help but feel a little sad when the week ended. It was intense and jam-packed with delicious food and wine. The Languedoc Roussillon is an area that's full of beautiful landscapes and even better wines. Like any place, it's the people that made it special. During the week, I met up with old and new friends. The days were full of laughter, whining, and dining. So here's to you, Languedoc Roussillon. I hope to be back soon.
I like them, really.